Hello, welcome. I hope you still remember me. I'm Dr. Sandra. As promised, today we're looking at LMIA and then Temporary Worker Pilot Program. LMIA is simply Labor Market Impact Assessment. LMIA is done by employer, or is a document that is given to you to justify the job, to show the genuineness of a job you offer that you got in Canada. Yes, there are jobs that are LMIA exempt, so which means it does not require LMIA. However, it still requires the LMIA certificate. So whether the job you apply for or the job that has been offered to you is LMIA exempt or not, you still require LMIA certificate saying that it's exempt or that it is not exempted. Ensure that any job offer that you're giving, that you request the LMIA from the employer. Most of you normally send me job offers to check if it is real, or maybe an advertisement or an employer inviting you to work in Canada, and you send them to me. Some turns out to be fluke, some turns out to be real, but really the most important aspect of checking it is ensuring that the employer gives you LMIA certificate. That tells you that that job is genuine, because when you want to apply for your temporary work, you need that certificate whether the job is LMIA exempt or not. That's how IRCC verifies that the job is genuine in Canada. Now, what does LMIA entail? LMIA will look at the fact that the job is stable. The employer is able to give you a stable job in Canada during the period they promised. So it's not like you come to Canada in a promised job and the employer promises you, okay, I'm going to be employing you for 2 years to work in such capacity, but by the time you get to Canada, work 6 months, they sack you, or the employer goes bankrupt and there is no job for you. That's what LMIA considers. And LMIA looks at the fact, again, that from the employer's side, that they have tried very hard to find somebody to occupy that position, that is a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, or even within Canada, but the person has not, they weren't able to find a qualified candidate for that. That's why they are now offering it to a foreign person or an international candidate. Ministry of Employment and Social Development in Canada, they are the ones that are in charge of LMIA. They ensure that the job is a stable job, that you'll be employed during the period that you are here. Then they ensure that the employer agrees to pay you the agreed amount in your job offer letter. That's what they do. They ensure that all deductibles that was agreed on is the only thing that the employer is going to be taking from you. So they kind of control foreign workers being taken advantage of, because they are foreign workers and they are scared of not reporting or talking about it in order not to miss getting settlement. You know, it happens a lot, you can't believe that, but they are in charge of it. And on the other part of the employer, they also want to make sure that the employers are not just using this opportunity to employ foreign workers without looking at employing permanent residents and Canadians first. So you see, a lot of you were like, why is it so difficult to get a job in Canada? Every day Canada opens their border to bring in new for foreigners, make them permanent residents, and so doing they become Canadians. So every day there are new permanent residents entering the shore of Canada. So it's difficult to really offer the job outside. These employers, they look out there and like, why go through the heck? It's a lot of stress to get LMIA. That's what makes the job difficult. So you need to be exceptionally good, and the company need to actually not find somebody as a permanent resident or Canadian within Canada that they can offer the job before they start looking elsewhere. Now that is it on LMIA. If we want to now look at the temporary foreign worker program. Temporary foreign worker program is the program that allows you a 2 years work permit to come and work in Canada for an employer is employer specific most times, and is job specific most times, this program. So it allows you, maybe as a caregiver or a welder, to come and work for a certain employer for a period of 2 years and see if you like the country. If you do, you migrate to settled programs like other permanent resident programs, like pilot programs, express entry programs, or the rest of it. And if the employer likes you and you like the employer, you can still extend your employment with them. So what do you require to come under a foreign worker program? You require a job that has LMIA, whether it's LMIA exempt job like welders and the rest of it, or LMIA justified job where you need that LMIA. Then you need job offer. It has to be contract and full-time, or permanent and full-time. It's up to the employer how they word it, but at least it should be a minimum of 2 years job. Then you need proof of financial support. That's very important. Whether you're coming to Canada as a student, as a worker, you need proof of financial support to show that you can financially sustain yourself until you start earning an income in Canada, right? Then you need police certificate and medical exams. This is very important because Canada would not like to bring in people that would place demand on the Canada economy rather than to help grow the economy. So you need to pass your medicals, you need to pass your police check, you need to not be inadmissible on these grounds. There is something I normally ask people. They would always ask me, is it necessary to do English language or language test in order to migrate under this job program? In as much as there is no requirement under this program that you have your language test, you need to still prove that you are able to communicate with your employer. If someone say, oh, I've got a job offer from an employer, I've done everything they wanted me to do, but they rejected my work visa. I like, do you have the actual proof of financial support? That's one thing. Have you shown them that you have the ability to do this job? Like you have a certificate or training to do this job? Do you have that? You need to show them that is not an arranged job. You know, it's not a job, not arranged in the sense of arranged from the terms of IRCC. Because from IRCC, an arranged job is an agreed job between you and an employer that has an LMIA certificate to it. So it's an arranged job. But arranged job, I mean is whether it's your brother or your sister-in-law that's arranging a job that you're not qualified. So let's look at this instance. A medical doctor and has a brother-in-law in Canada that owns a business, and then the brother-in-law decides to give the medical doctor a job as an assistant manager in his printing business. That job does not seem genuine. Do you understand? In as much as it's a medical doctor which required higher certificate, is not justified. He does not seem to have the skill to function in that job. It needs to be a job that you have experience in, qualified in, a job that you can deliver. That's what IRCC would look at. So it's not about getting the job. It's about making sure it's a job that suits you. The employer would make sure of that. You too, as a candidate, should make sure of that too, to avoid rejection at the end of the day. And you should prove to them that you will understand the language. So maybe by writing a language test, like for English, IELTS, there are a lot of language exams that you need to look at there. It's very essential when you want to migrate to Canada to try to make an attempt to write this language test, because most work programs they have in Canada are based on language ability. So you need to be competent in some language. They will not be as high as professional job if you're looking at NOC and NOCD jobs, but you need to make an attempt to write it. That's your starting point. You need to do a language proficiency test. You need to have at least a minimum of a secondary school diploma. In the case of Nigeria or Africa, is WAEC, the West African exam, or NACO. Then you need to have experience, at least a minimum of 2 years experience in the job you're looking at. It's not saying that I have the experience, that's the basic thing. It's being able to prove the experience Prove that you have the experience by getting a letter from your employer to say that yes, you have this experience, you have worked in this capacity and that capacity. Your pay stub does not. Your pay stub shows proof of employment, but it doesn't show proof of experience in the said job. So it's your job offer letter and the letter from your employer. These are the basic things. If you have this, then it is time for you to start looking at migrating to Canada. If you do not have it, I suggest you go acquire them first. Then you start looking for a job in Canada. Where are the places to look for jobs in Canada? Something like Indeed. You go and open an account Indeed, put create a profile there, then put your CV. You need to make sure that you have the standard CV, that the standard Canadian CV, not the Nigerian type or the African type, where you put your biodata history. You put some people send me CV and I still weeping, because as an employer I will not even look at the CV twice. Make sure you take time to present your CV. Remember, your CV is a point of selling yourself, right? It's not about your biodata. We don't want to know your age. Canada is not like Nigeria that want to know your age. There is equality in this country, so nobody cares about your age. They care about your experience and your ability to do that job. Prepare a very good CV up to the standard of Canada. Create your account. Create your own account on Indeed and start looking for jobs that you qualify for. Apply to them, right? Remember to specify in your CV or during the job application that you're international job seeker outside of Canada, so that the employer would know immediately they pick your CV or your cover letter that you're looking for a job to migrate in Canada. Remember to put in your CV that you have the ability to speak. Give them evidence and evidence and evidence, right? Another place you can apply for job if you're in Express Entry is jobbank.ca. Even if you're not in Express Entry, you can create a basic account. The other day I was looking at it and I was surprised to find out that JobBank now has a basic account where you just do a basic account and you can apply to job from time to time. Now, this will be leading us to the next one. Next talk we'll have will be on caregiver program, the 2 caregiver programs that is ongoing in Canada. We'll look at the requirements, what you need to do, what the program is all about, and then we might go ahead and look at how to apply. Look at the website and I'll take you on the journey of how to do the application if you want to do the application by yourself. All right, I still remember my humble self, Dr. Sandra. Thank you for taking out your time